The next parabolic move is starting. Before we get into exactly where I think we are in this market cycle, I do want to start by understanding why you're here specifically. My guess is that you may be here because the technology is exciting, but like most I would say, you're here to make life-changing gains. And you're here on YouTube to learn as much as you can to make better and better decisions, right? But what is it that motivates you to learn as much as you can in crypto about investing? What is it that drives you? Is it a nice beach house? Is it a Lamborghini? One of my members in the Telegram chat always says, wife-changing gains. Now, I think he's single, but he means he can better attract who he is looking for from the wealth that he wants to accumulate in this. Is it a private island that you're looking for? Is it just enough to own your house outright? It is okay, whatever it is, because that's specific to you, but it's helpful for you to know exactly what you're reaching for. Because in crypto, it's just investing. Now, crypto is the newest, fastest tech sector of growth. And though the technology is world-changing, it follows the same patterns that the slower investment cycles follow. It's just faster. And if you know exactly what you want, it is easier to be patient to get it and to stick with it, because I promise you, the road ahead is going to be bumpy. I do want to be real with you. If you aren't good at investing, you'll make more bad decisions and less solid ones. The more you understand about the cycles in crypto, it's going to help keep your emotions in check, especially at the two most critical times: large green candles and large red candles. Can we agree that because crypto moves so fast, often the best information does come through YouTube, Twitter, and Medium articles? Just is what it is. Though we know it's not financial advice, we can at least get access to others' opinions and information in a time-relevant way. So do understand that what I'm sharing with you is not financial advice, just my opinion. These opinions have worked really well for me, and I can't even tell you what to do. I can only share with you what I'm doing, how I think about it, and what's worked well for me over the past 2 cycles. I have already made life-changing wealth for myself, and I started this channel earlier this year to share with many of you the principles that help work so well for me. So if you'll stick with us for this cycle, the bear market that follows this in the following cycle, so a 5-year plan, I think many of you can accomplish the same thing. So let's talk about exactly what I think is about to happen. With the recent pullbacks, you probably got that feeling you get from a roller coaster as you go over the top and start heading down. Now imagine you're on that roller coaster and you're blindfolded. Yeah, that real uneasy feeling in your gut as you're going down, you know that feeling. And if you were like most of us, the further down that ride, the question comes to your mind, oh my gosh, is it going to keep going down? And in crypto, you hear the internal dialogue saying, should I sell before it goes down even further? I know that because I still hear that internal dialogue and what that internal dialogue often says to me. But with 20 plus years investing, that internal dialogue isn't near as loud, but I absolutely listen to what that internal dialogue says. I just don't do what it tells me to do. I almost always actually do the opposite. I find as that internal dialogue does get the loudest, it is almost always the absolute worst place to sell. And almost always the exact timing of the very best buy opportunities. So what usually comes right after the point where we couldn't resist hitting that sell button? The market then picks up and starts its next trend up. You possibly have even experienced this once or twice. This is what keeps most of us from making life-changing gains. So in order to make those gains we want so bad, we are taking money that we worked very hard for. We're putting it at complete risk of losing everything, because be real, in crypto, you could lose it all. And we do it because we want to make that drastic change in our finances. The good news is that you're in the right place. I'm frequently going to share with you my perspective on what's happening. I'm going to keep in the front of your mind that this isn't financial advice. These are my thoughts on how I think about it, what I'm doing. I'm not even always correct. I'm just often correct. And if you hold for periods, it's very forgiving, and you end up winning a lot more than you lose. Now, investing for such long periods well, I guess 20 years experience in my life has helped me see past the hype and the fear to often see exactly what's going on. Now, it seems like we just passed the point where these voices to panic sell, or the internal dialogue telling you to panic sell, was probably just the loudest. And it may be that we're now past that point. There's some indicators that probably we are, but sometimes there's one more dip down. So we'll see how that goes. How do I know that we're there? Well, let's look at the charts in a second. Many things have a nice flat bottom, which means that anytime there's sell pressure, buyers scoop it up at these prices. Some projects are also now starting to show signs of taking off. This is exactly what we're looking for. So let's hit the charts. First, I want to go over to Bitcoin. And this is Bitcoin versus the US dollar on Binance. So we've had this nice rounded bottom, and that's what we call this, a rounded bottom. Now, sometimes you do get one more dip down. You know, one of the big fears on this is that this is a head and shoulders. Shoulder being here, shoulder being here. And that if it plays out like that, it could dip all the way down to this $19,000 range. Or do you see where this other resistance line is here? It could come down to here. And that's been the big fear of many, that it will do that. And it possibly still could wick down to that. Freak everyone out. Get as many people as possible to hit that panic button. Bam, sell. Then it's off to the races. This happens time and time again. I did want to show you some of the signs of what's happening that's taking things off. Now, I want to look at Enjin here. This is Enjin coin, ENJ. Now, this is a big DeFi gaming play. Not DeFi, gaming NFT play. Market cap's close to 1.2 billion. And see how it had this long roller coaster ride. Now, imagine if you were blindfolded, right? Isn't this what the roller coaster ride down would feel like? So I give you this analogy because it's something we can relate to, so that as you see this stuff in the charts, it helps you not panic sell, because this is buy point for people like me. This is where I'm going crazy buying and accumulating. Now, that doesn't mean it can't come down again, that it can't do this. That's okay. What often happens is sometimes it even does, even to me, and it goes lower, and then it's off to the races. But sometimes it never does even come lower. I mean, look what Axie Infinity just did, where it went absolutely crazy. Now, I covered that earlier today, and I realized after I had recorded the video that, oh my gosh, I hope a bunch of people don't FOMO into this, because I do not chase these kind of green candles. That is detrimental. Now, there's a slight chance it could continue up from here, but look at this market cap. It's almost $1 billion for a gaming token like the, I mean, why do you need this token? You don't. So, yeah, so I have some items in the game. So this is sell time for me. When it's going crazy like this, see, I'm accumulating, not specifically this token, but I'm accumulating when it goes down like this. This is just a really good, very fresh, a relevant chart that I can share with you. And then when it goes parabolic like this, then I'm selling. That's the time that I'm taking profits. Like I'm taking profits here, I'm taking profits here, I'm taking profits all the way up. I am definitely never buying when this is happening. When you're new, this is when it's most tempting to buy. It's like, oh my gosh, look at the returns they just had. That's the kind of returns I'm looking for. When you chase these green candles, it almost never ends well for you. Another one I want to look at, Ecomi. Look at this nice, beautiful rounded bottom. Then the first leg of the W, it looks like it's been dipping down to the second leg of the W. How far down it comes, we don't know. It might even come down back to the 0.25 cents range. Might not. It's at 0.35 cents now. And then often it goes off to the races. Even DeFi is showing some signs of that. Look at this first leg of the W. Maybe the second leg comes down further. Maybe it doesn't, and it only does this. And then it starts heading up. Aave, we're seeing something similar. First leg of the W. Looks like it's coming down. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Now, do you realize if Bitcoin comes down to 24,000, it's going to bring that second legs of the W down even further, probably. Because most of the time, everything drops. Not always, just most of the time. So if that happens, just be prepared that it's possible. So what I've done is I've been accumulating while it's down. It's hard to time the bottom. I'll share with you Ecomi. This is exactly how I played out. When it hit 0.75 cents, I bought a bunch. When it hit under 0.5 cents, I bought a bunch. I bought a bunch more down in this zone here. If it comes down from here, I'm going to make some more buys and then be patient for 2 or 3 or 4 months and see how it plays out. If it comes down even deeper, because I believe in VV, the VV app that Comey has, and that the app itself has been tremendous, you know, even if it comes down really cheap for whatever reason, that's just the time for me to buy more, because being patient, the chances that it will go up tremendously from there are very high. So that's how I play it. Now, it's impossible for us to know exactly the bottom of each time, so there are some things that we can look for indicators, but knowing when a general good time to buy is and where a general good time to sell is, well, that's worked amazing for me. And though often you buy and sometimes it retraces more, like what happened to me with Comey, and then I buy some more and then it retraces and I buy some more to find out that, yep, okay, that was the exact bottom. And then the run upwards is now probably going to go like crazy. So I know part of you wants to know, and you say, but Merv, how do I know exactly where the bottom is? Well, good luck with that, because everyone is guessing. And most sophisticated investors know that they won't be able to time exactly the bottom, so that's why we buy in these ranges. Even the most experienced don't always get it right. Now, smart investors just buy in those ranges, and they do leave some capitals on the side in case it does go lower. What I'm excited about overall is that there are so many great deals available today. Now, 3 months ago, it was really hard to know what was still a good deal because most prices had gone up. It was a good friend called me and he said, hey, what's a really good deal out there? What should I put more money into? And number one, I can't tell him what to put money into. So I prefaced it with, well, this is what I'm most interested in. But, you know, everything seemed so expensive compared to the prices they had been. It was hard to even figure out. Now that things have retraced, it's a lot easier to identify the good buys because everything is on sale. Almost everything. AXS, not on sale. So if you haven't already, join the conversation with us on Telegram. I have some great people in there. The group is really good. Do keep friendly and cordial in the group. I do have a zero tolerance policy towards toxicity. And what I mean by toxicity is no racism, no sexism, no homophobia. Just honestly be kind to other people. They're trying to learn too, so don't call names. That doesn't mean you can't disagree with people, but be friendly about it, please, or I will have to kick you. But, you know, I don't have to kick very many people every once in a while. And people, of course, scammers try to join in there and they try to pump some token, and then I have to delete that post as well as delete them. But, yeah, so do know that scammers can join it too. So if anyone's asking you to call a WhatsApp number or send them some funds, 100% it's a scam. If you're new to the channel, go back and check out some of my past videos. You may find that they really help you understand investing and timing at a deeper level. If you haven't already, subscribe and keep this dialogue going. I do like to cover really good projects that I like and that I think have value for the future, and I'll share with you what I like about them, why I'm interested in them, and I'll be real with you about it. And being real with you, I don't get everything right, but because I hold for periods of time, it tends to, when I don't end up buying the very bottom because it's hard to time, it tends to be forgiving and do very well. And it's always easy, especially when you're new and your assets haven't built up tremendously. I remember how hard it can be watching you buy something and then have it retrace from there. You get past that as long as you're making pretty good buys and you're not chasing large green candles. You're actually chasing big red candles on solid long-term projects. If you chase large red candles on scam projects, I don't know how it'll work out for you. So stuff that has a future or is most likely to have a future, then it has a big retracement. That's when I like to be buying it. And that tends to be forgiving because then, you know, just people get scared. They panic sell, and they panic sell right into our hands. And then we buy. And as much as I'm informing people not to panic sell, there's tens of millions of people out there that I won't reach. And even if they did hear my video, They wouldn't listen because they're not ready to think like investors. So if you're here, my guess is you are ready to think like that, or you already do. I know some of you are already millionaires, and I thank you for tuning in, enjoying the channel and the discussion. I appreciate that too. Also, every time you like one of my videos, it helps us grow this bigger. So thank you when you do that, because it does help YouTube push these videos out to more people. As that happens, it allows me to grow better connections behind the scenes. So since I started the channel, I've been able to get to know some of the projects out there, even some of the projects I'm most interested in. It allows me to give you better information. What I don't have contacts with is a lot of the billionaire whales behind the scenes yet. Now, hopefully, as my channel gets to 100,000, 500,000, a million, I'll get to know those people that give me better behind the scenes of the whale atmosphere. That way I can give you better information. So I appreciate when you help me get there by liking every one of my videos, because then it tells YouTube this is doing really well, push it out to more people. And it helps us grow the community, as well as the more millionaires and other successful people we get in our community. That's not a bad thing. There's plenty of people that have different perspectives than me, that have been very successful, that have good tips to share. So as we grow this community, it makes us all better together. Thanks so much. I do want to send you to our song. This is by Manuela, who's made the song for all you Rainmakers. Rainmakers are those who commit to the 5-year journey with us. So commit yourself to this 5-year journey. Be with us, not just during this run, but in the bear market, which is the best time to be here. Hopefully you've taken some profits, or take some profits during the next leg or two up that I think we still have ahead of us. And that way you're cash rich during the bear market, so that you can pick up at some deep discounted prices that will really set you up for a really good bull run next time. Thanks so much. Take it away, Manuela.
Success is falling